Hello, hello, everybody. Okay, so as you can see, I have two panelists today. I've got the lovely Sunshine Green and the venerable Kendall St. Charles here with us. And a couple of things I want to talk about really quick. We're going to keep this brief, but I wanted to just say that if you have not yet joined our A Rose is Still a Rose event. We had our first viewing and telecall last night with, I would say, what is it, close to 200 people.
Yeah.
We got really deep in there, and we covered a lot of ground. I think that the first night, girl, let's see, it was 4, 5. I'm so bad with numbers. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like 8 or 9 hours. 8 or 9 hours was this.
Yeah, because we did the live screening of the first 2 episodes of the show Surviving R. Kelly, and then we had our follow-up telecall, which we were on until about 3 a.m. So yeah, we were on really late. And
yeah, that's right. Because I'm in Pacific time. Because I'm like, what? Okay, so yeah. It was
3 a.m.
that
New York City.
I think we covered a lot of ground, but we still have 2 more days. Actually 4 more screenings. We're doing 2 a day. And then we're getting really deep in the psychology of how this was able and continues to go on. How R. Kelly continues to make a ton of money with his streaming. Streaming is actually up. His sales are up. He had a birthday recently with a room full of people.
He did a concert.
He's in concert right now. It's probably a packed thing. There's no consequences. And that's very telling about how society views his victims. Even the women who are in the same gender and race of the group that he victimizes are really the ones that are his largest cheerleaders. This is very unfortunate, and it says a lot. Unfortunately, it says that there's not a lot of value for Black girls and women. And like I said in the event yesterday, this problem is not solvable in our lifetime. I don't know if it'll ever be solved, but there's hope. There's ways in which we can still navigate and still live well to the extreme. So that's what we're talking about in this event. And Sunshine, you were in the event yesterday too. What did you think about it?
Well, I think that a lot of the women who were in the event and watched everything with us were at first a little bit afraid to watch it. From what I saw, it seemed like they felt like they would be triggered, but I was telling them in the comments, like, if you can just try to watch it, because it's important for you to see exactly how this went down, exactly how so many people were responsible. So many people knew that this was happening and did nothing. So many people ignored these girls because they were Black. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of women, even though they seemed like they were afraid at first to watch it, they did. And I think they were glad that they watched it.
Yeah.
They learned a lot from just braving it and seeing it. And it can be triggering, but you have to figure, well, why is it triggering? Because that's happened to me. Because I can relate, because somebody that I know has had that happen to them. That's when, you start to really realize that there's a serious problem. Mm-hmm. There's a serious problem with Black girls being ignored. Yeah. Black women being ignored. So I think it was very eye-opening. To watch it by yourself is totally different from watching it with a lot of Black women who have been through some traumatic shit.
Yeah. And that was really interesting, was the community watch part of it.
Yeah.
How we you could see other members of the group lending support to other people who were in it deep, who had issues that were very close to what these girls experienced. And so there was this sisterhood bond that happened. And then when Kendall and I, launched a portion of the Purple podcast where we both presented, I felt like it was really starting to move the conversation forward, just beyond, oh my God, what the F, to, okay, here's what's going on, and let's move towards doing something different. So if you guys have not yet signed up to this event, you should. There's still time, and the links are in the description box of this video. And make sure that you share this video, because for some reason, I don't know why I'm being punished. I haven't been notified, but for some reason, I'm being punished because nobody's getting the notifications of when we go live. And so you like this video and share it, because I think YouTube is doing some funny things, and you guys just suffered from that. Like, seriously, something just happened. Kendall, can you tell us, and Sunshine, can you tell us what just happened?
Well,
you can go ahead.
Sunshine, you tell us. It was your channel. It was on your channel.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what just happened?
Yeah. Well, I finally decided within the last week that I'm going to start to use my YouTube channel. I've had the channel just sitting there, but I haven't used it. So I've been just going live on my channel, just live streaming for a couple of hours every day, talking to Black women about issues that affect Black women. And, my channel was starting to pop and everything. It was getting really cute. A lot of Black women were gravitating towards me, saying that they were so glad that they found my channel. We had a few white knights in the comments. And we were giving, everybody was just talking and enjoying the conversation and discussing things that affect Black women, like I said, in interracial dating and everything. And then, so Kendall came on, Kendall's a moderator on the page. So she came on to speak and was just talking about, she suggests that women listen to what I'm saying and get into some of my classes and get into the event tonight. And all of a sudden, it just completely cut off. Like everything, it just shut down. So people it's been a little crazy in my email and my Facebook, because a lot of people got my email from, when I was live, I gave people my email address, and I posted the link to my Facebook. So some people had already added me. So people have really been in my inbox like, what happened? We were really enjoying the live. We wanted to hear what Kendall had to say. People told me to start a group and they will pay Kendall so that they can come into the group and hear the rest of what she was gonna say. Like, people were so into that video, and it just randomly shut off. Randomly. And now I can't go live on my page anymore. So I feel like I'm fucking being silenced, just like Black women are always silenced.
Well, I mean, you got hit with the hate speech, and the crazy thing is, I have been only on for 10 minutes, and all I was talking about, I said, the reason why I like Sunshine is because Sunshine is evidence of what happens when Black women stop taking other people's word. This is literally what I was saying. I wasn't even cursing, yelling, and screaming. I wasn't doing anything. I literally said, Sunshine is an example of what happens when Black women stop taking other people's word for what is possible for them, and show the courage and go out into the world and find out for themselves that what is our portion and what is not. Because we're always listening to other people, particularly from within the community, tell us what is possible for us, whether it is who we date, what we can do in life, where we can live, what kind of experiences we can have. There's always someone particularly within the community, trying to tell us what is for us. And it's always people who have an agenda. And I said, instead of taking their word for it, like when Black males in particular, or non-swirling Black women who have never really been engaged in relationships or serious relationships with non-Black men, come forward, and they do it all the time, and try to tell Black women what is going to happen to them and what they're going to experience if they open up their dating options. Why are Black women listening to dudes and women who have never seriously dated out tell them what's waiting for them? We
As if they know. They have no exposure outside of a very insular Black community, but they're going to tell you what to expect.
Right. And it's not just about swirling. It's about everything. You know, Black groupthink, which will discourage you from taking a job, you know, outside of, on the other side of the country, or on the other side of the world, who will discourage you from engaging in activities that are considered white people stuff, like camping and hiking and surfing and, you know, whatever things you might be interested in. Black people are always there to rush in to tell Black women what our portion is and what is not, and to warn us, supposedly warn us, a race of people who will allow the children in the community to be raped generation after generation suddenly have so much concern about our welfare when they show up to warn you about all of the threats that wait for you outside of the Black community. And what I was saying in the video, and I was getting ready to get off. I wasn't planning on staying on long. I just wanted to come in and say, listen, ladies, the reason why I like Sunshine's energy, what she represents, is because she represents what happens when a Black woman stops taking other people's word for it and goes out into the world herself to see what it might yield for her. And this is why Black women need to have the courage to be renegades, to go against what the groupthink tells them and go out and see for themselves, because you have to understand that there is an agenda from within the community to try to stop you from going out to see. They want to scare you. So that's the first thing they're going to tell you: open up your mating options, that non-Black men only want you for a fetish, or they will never marry you, or they will never take you seriously. They'll never introduce you to their family. They're trying to fill you with fears based on historic racist perceptions of Black women and racist power dynamics to scare Black women from even considering it. And this is why they socially engineer this narrative of always showing Black women being threatened or harmed or violated or humiliated by particularly white men, like what they did with the proliferation of that video last week with the girl who worked at McDonald's. But they did not proliferate the video of the girl who got attacked in London. And so what I was saying to you, stop taking their word for it and go out for yourself and see. Because what you will find is that you may not necessarily experience what they're telling you. They have an agenda. And so that's what I was saying in support of, and it was impromptu. I just say, hey, I was listening, and I said, hey, shoot me the link so I could come and chat with you guys for a minute. And Sunshine is technologically challenged like me, so she couldn't figure out how to share the Hangout link. So she just dialed me on Facebook, the Facebook calling thing, and just played me over the phone. And we were about 10 minutes into it, and then it just stopped. So they flagged us down in the middle of making a video, which they've done to me before too on Facebook. And doing hate speech.
That could happen.
Yes, doing hate speech. And then it was in the middle of the video. So it wasn't after the video was over. They flagged us down and then took the video down, and then put a block on her channel so she can't do any lives. And so this is the level. This is what, they're so afraid of us coming together. And they definitely don't like you and me, Christelyn, working together. We already know that. And they also don't like our support of Sunshine, because what it shows is that there is a message. And you focus on swirling. You are, a housewife. You run an at-home business. You are a mother. You have children. I am dark wisdom and sovereign. I'm not so much about courage, although I cover that on my platform too, but I'm more about the psychology of the shadow side of human nature. Sunshine is sexually fluid. She works in the sex industry. She has no children, and she doesn't have any particular interest in having serious romantic relationships with men. We've all taken very different paths. Sunshine is about 10 years our junior, so she's younger than us. So we've all taken very different paths, but we've all come to very similar conclusions, and we hold very similar positions, and our messages overlap and support each other. We don't agree on everything. We all have our unique takes, but the basis of it is what I said, that we're all encouraging Black women to go out. You don't even have to take our word for it. Go out into the world for yourself. Stop being cowards and stop listening to people with an agenda, and go out and see for yourself what the world feels about you and what you can do in life. Stop listening to Black people tell you and limit your potential and your position. Stop letting them do that. And they see us coming together and supporting each other, and they're so nervous about it that they have to
so divergent. And they're like, wow, if they can all work together and do something, this is scary because, you know, we have them divided so we can, you know, work on them in a more concerted way.
But what was really scary was they have been telling Black women, just like Kendall said, that white men don't want them, nobody wants them. So I start on my channel, I say, well, we're going to give the white kings a plate when they show up. And every time white men come to our live, all of the Black women will post plate and food emojis for them. So now they see white men who are showing up and want to talk to us and want to be around us and enjoy our energy, and they feel threatened by that because they want Black women to believe that nobody wants them and they just belong in the hood, in the projects with a dollar store fan in the window and giving them their car keys so they can be like, what's his name on Baby Boy, riding around in Yvette's car.
Yes. Well, there's
definitely, I think the presence of white men, and Chris, you've noticed this too on your platform, when white men show up to express interest, to express support for Black women, it makes Black people feel very threatened. As long as they think that the swirling movement, or not just the swirling, the divestment / swirling / sovereign / empowerment movement for Black women is simply about Black women, you know, saying we're going to open up our options, we're going to divest, we're going to move on. It makes them a little nervous, but when they start seeing the outside world welcome us, it's one thing for us to say we're leaving, you know, and to throw up the deuces. It's a whole other thing to see the outside world throw out the welcome mat.
Right.
And every time they see the men show up in support of us, that's when they start getting really crazy. That's when they get into a frenzy.
Because the narrative
right, because they want it to seem like we're just selling a dream to Black women that it's not real because nobody else really wants you, and these white men only see you as a fetish and they don't even care. And how come they're not leading the charge on swirling? But it's not their role to lead the charge on swirling. They're not going to dishonor their own mothers and their own sisters and their own daughters just because they personally are open to personal love with Black women. And that's the difference between white men and Black men. Black men will come to the public square and throw their own mothers and sisters and daughters' image under the bus publicly in favor of white women and non-Black women. But white men have some more integrity, manly integrity, and they respect their mothers. So they don't have to come to the public square to shit on their mothers and replace their mother's image with us in order to prove that they're open to dating us. That's what Black people are waiting for white men to do that, because that's what they've seen Black men do. But white men have more respect for the womb that births them, even if they personally choose to be with a non-white woman. They're not in mass going to just come out and start replacing the likeness and image of their own mother and their own sister with us. And I wouldn't want them to do that because our men have done that, and we see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so as long as they could push the narrative that we're just some yelling, screaming, bitter harpies who chose wrong and are mad at Black men and just are selling a dream to Black women about all of these options that they really don't have, then that kind of pacifies them. But when they actually see the men show up and say, hey, I like Black women, and Sunshine was vetting. She was like, yeah, you like Black women. Let's make sure you are who you say you are. And she even got a couple of them to come on to either Facebook Live, and she showed it or whatever, to prove that they were indeed non-Black men who are, who are here in support. And so he was changing the narrative even further by showcasing the presence of non-Black men, and showing them
come on and say, oh no, that's just a Black man that's pretending to be a white man to get some attention from y'all. So I showed that no, this really is who they say they are, Black men. Like they really want to be around us. Sorry.
Right. And so it was only a matter of time before they were going to try, flag her page. And I knew it was coming. And then when they saw me jump on, that was really too much for all of them. And they rushed really quickly to get it out. But the train is moving. They can't stop the train. And so but what we wanted to talk about today is we wanted to once again bring light to the fact that for a race of people who are so dismissive of your interests, that the spirit of pedophilia and pederasty and abuse of young Black children, male and female, and young Black girls could go on the way it does in this community, to the point where you have a 6-part docuseries about one man's ability to affect so many people, so many women, and even men too, because rumor is that R. Kelly is bisexual, and he also engages in sex with men. And so how was a group of people who allows that to go on everyday life suddenly so concerned about our welfare when it comes to us, opening our mating options? Suddenly they're so concerned about us, and they're warning us away from white men, and they're warning us away from divestment and going into the larger world and becoming a citizen of the world. And it's interesting, and we want to point that out to you, that a race of people that would allow R. Kelly to thrive and continue to thrive right now. He just had a birthday party 2 nights ago, and it was packed. So a race of people that are so dismissive of the interests and concerns and the dangers that young Black girls and Black women face are the same people showing up to tell you, to warn you away from white people and white men, because they're dangerous. It's all fake, and they get so nervous
something about that too. So you have an equivalent, maybe Harvey Weinstein, right? Or the head of CBS. Both of them are without a job. Both of them have virtually lost everything. They have, white society has collectively turned their backs on them. Yet R. Kelly is still making music. He's on concert. He's got a packed room on his birthday. You have people vigorously defending him. It shows that this other group of people, this other cultural people, values their women more than we do. So the idea that people are coming in here to warn us about these evil men who will, abuse us, it just is not very, it's disingenuous. Because look at how you showing us what you think of us through this whole situation. Anybody who ever had any question about how Black girls and women are treated versus how white girls and women are treated in the United States, this should clarify things for all of you. It should be very, very clear. So the idea of all these warnings are just, they just don't ring true. And anybody who has a discerning mind and a critical thinking spirit is going to say, something just isn't adding up, because we're seeing all of this right now. We're seeing this happen in real time.
And the effort that Black people will go to. So it's interesting that in the 6-7 years since Trayvon Martin was killed, George Zimmerman has been out flagrantly. He's been selling pictures, artwork of depictions of harm to men. He sold the gun that he used to kill Trayvon Martin for $200,000. I mean, it's amazing to me how y'all can figure out how to flag down my YouTube channel, how to figure out how to send emails and mail to Christelyn's family and neighbors, and to flag down Sunshine's YouTube videos, but Black people can't seem to figure out how to take on the people who are actually out there harming them. It's just amazing to me where we put our energy. And like I said, when my YouTube channel was flagged down about 2 weeks ago, all they did was, in essence, turn me into a martyr. And December of that, it was the most profitable month on my platform. So whatever they were trying to do at work, but the fact that they work so hard, Black people will work so hard to take down other Black people. Even if you don't like what they say, they work really, really hard, and they can show up and they can affect it. They can make it happen. And only certain Black people, because there are certain sectors of the He-Man Black Women Hater Club that is alive and kicking. And so what it shows is that we are capable of affecting change when we want to. And so you prove us right. So when you figure out how to flag down one of my flag down my channel, or flag down Flag Down Sunshine video in the middle of a live stream, all you're doing is sending more people to us. All you're doing is proving what we're saying is true, that, oh, so if you wanted Tommy Suck a Dick off of YouTube, you could get him off.
Right.
You don't prioritize that. And that's primarily to Black women. Black women don't prioritize it. Black women are over there supporting him and rallying the troops in his name. Right. So all he does is spread the message to women who are getting fed up that what we're saying is true. And a lot of women who are fence sitting, a lot of women who are not quite sure, who haven't made the final decision yet to divest or to really start to rethink this one-sided dynamic, are being forced over to choose, and they're choosing our side because of what they see happening. Because they see that there's so much fear. What happens? So when Sunshine does her videos and she inviting white men to come to the videos and show their support for Black women, how quickly there is a move to take her out. But when Tommy Suck a Dick calls you hair-hatted hooligans and Tariq Nasheed calls you bedwenches, there is no concerted effort to stop that kind of proliferation of messaging in the community. And I, once again, I have to say that, I have to look at Black women as the first cause about that, because like I said, I know how powerful Black women are. And when we want something done, we get it done. When we want something stopped, we get it stopped. When we want something started, we get it started. So if these things are still going on, if these people still have platforms, it's because Black women allow it. And that's what it means to have the final say. Whatever you allow persists. And I'm just amazed at which, the effort with which I saw Black women congregate and organize to attack Ami McClure earlier, a couple of months ago. I'm just amazed at how quickly we can figure out how to take out a swirling Black woman, but we can't for the life of us figure out how to take out the leader of the He-Man Black Women Haters Club. It's just amazing to me. But all it does is it really reinforces the message that what we do is a threat, that they're very nervous about what we do, and that they work very diligently to try to stop our messaging. And I'm just amazed. And to be clear, I have no doubt that it wasn't just Black men who had that had Sunshine's video flagged down. That Black men, see, we're working. Black males always have Black women there to help them. They always have handmaidens. They always have allies, conspirators, spies willing to collude and help them. But we don't have the benefit of that. We don't have some brothers on our side who are really trying to help us. So we're working against twice the pushback, as their side is working against the few Black women who will try to actively work against what they're doing. But we're working against the male and the females in the community. So we face a double threat. And so that makes us in a much more precarious position. But what it ultimately does for those who, there are many Black women who are on the verge. They're right on the verge because they've seen this Black Lives Matter movement and the one-sided loyalty that was revealed through the internet exposure of the BLM, and seeing and organize this movement showed up and continue to drive this movement for equality for supposedly for Black people, but we know it's primarily for Black males in society and in the law enforcement and the justice system. They were all watching when they saw Black men completely tune out, or to excuse make, or to celebrate when things happen to Black women. So they hacked themselves. Y'all have heard me talk about this many times, that Black men in particular hacked themselves by coming to the public square and letting Black women know what we should have already known. I think what we do on a spiritual subconscious level, but we didn't want to accept. We didn't want to accept with our conscious minds. But then it's hard to not accept when you see the meme. It's hard to not accept when you see the comments and in the videos. And so they really did themselves a disservice. And it's still not hitting them. They're getting nervous, but they're still arrogant. And it's still not hitting them what they have done. But when I came to this public square, when some women came to particularly to social media and started to ask her to change the dialogue, because before I came, there was still, for the most part, the conversation was about going over to Brazil, getting passports, conversations about weave and makeup. And when I came and asked who was at the gate, it changed the focus. It changed the perspective of the questioning. And I said, well, if we're going to lay blame at Black women in the 60s for supposedly abandoning the civil rights movement and joining feminism, for putting Black men out the house and accepting work and welfare, then if we're going to go down memory lane, then let's not stop at 1960. Let's go back to 1860, or how about 1760? And when I started bringing receipts showing that the only reason why Black people are even under the dominion of white supremacy is because of the collusion of the Black male, in particular, during the transatlantic slave trade, and even before that, the East African slave trade, which was primarily a slave trade of sexual concubinage. 80% of the slaves traded in that slave trade before the European slave trade with the Arabs and the Turks and men out in East. Was a slave trade of sex trafficking. And it's still going on to this day. It's 1,200 years old, and it was a sex trafficking slave trade where Black males were selling Black girls and women into sexual slavery. So when I came to the square and started putting things in a different perspective, the conversation began to change, and it was less focused on weaves and makeup and passports and more on historical analysis. And then they all went running and scrambling to try to find any evidence that places that doesn't place them at the scene of the crime. So they went and found that book, Daughters of the Trade, and started talking about changing the narrative to Black women were the ones who were at the gate, letting the white man in, sucking his dick, making
wanted to trade. I mean, it's just exactly. We've always wanted to be with white men, and and this whole idea of we weren't really raped. And we talked about that a little bit in the event yesterday. The idea that Black girls and women are unrapeable because we're just so wretched and so full of sexual lust, and we're so greedy for the white man that we're willing to do whatever. It really does fall into that narrative. And real quick, I want to talk to you guys about a real world situation that also hits home. So I don't know if you guys have been aware about Kevin Hart's apology tour to the LGBTQ community for saying some insensitive tweets years back. And he was to host the Oscars, which is a huge deal. And by the way, Kevin Hart is on the top, I think, 3 highest paid comedians in the United States. He makes tens of millions of dollars. I think in upward to like $50 million a year. And so he was supposed to host the Oscars. And somebody, because the LGBTQ community has a lot of watchdogs who look out for their interests, found those tweets and exposed them. And he was on an apology tour because there was protection for the group that he singled out. But I would like to call your attention to Exhibit A, when Kevin Hart said that dark-skinned Black women can take a punch, and how those comments were never met with an apology, how he continued to have his star rise and be embraced, not only continue to be embraced by the Black community, but as the mainstream community, which includes the white community, who makes all, who's making him all the money. That didn't seem to be a problem when he said a slew of racially insensitive things towards Black women. But again, this is an example. So when you see the things that there can be wrongs consistently against Black women and girls, specifically women who look like me and Sunshine, darker skinned, kinky haired. We're expendable. We're not special. So we're not worthy of apology tours. I mean, you could just straight out deny. You could punch us in the face and say, I didn't do it. Well, but there's a video of you. I didn't do it. But we see you. I didn't do it. Well, I guess you didn't do it.
But you know what? This is the difference, because I've been in LGBTQ circles since I was like 17, and that's 17, 18 years now. When I lived in New York, I specifically remember gay, trans people marching standing out at train stations, stopping people to get them to sign petitions. We all stood together to make sure that gay people had rights, that trans women could use the bathrooms that they needed to use, that gay people could get married. I didn't even care about getting married. I didn't give a damn about getting married to a man or woman. I just wanted gay people to have the right to get married. So the difference is LGBTQ people stick together regardless. LGBTQ people are not going to turn on each other and say, well, you know, straight people matter too. We don't give a damn. We're going to stick with us. Black women want to run off and fight for men's causes, even though men oppress them. LGBTQ people understood that straight people are the ones who are trying to stop us from being able to use the name that we want to use if we transition, or use the bathroom that is assigned to the gender that we are transitioning to, or get married and make sure that our spouse is protected under marriage laws just like straight people are. We realized that straight people were the ones stopping us, so we wasn't running our fight for straight people's goddamn causes. Black women need to leave men's causes alone and mind their own business. That's the difference.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, and yes, and but as you can see, the only time Black women seem to exert any concerted, organized response, not reaction, but response to someone who is what they feel is going against their interests, is when they're attacking other Black women. That's the only time you really see it. The one time I could say that I can think of that Black women, a few times, but specifically when Nelly was trying to come to Spelman, and it was after he released Tip Drill, and the ladies at Spelman was not trying to hear it, and they shut that shit down, and they shut it down. And to this day, he blames the death of his sister because he was trying to do some kind of, I think, a blood drive or a bone marrow drive or something for his sister who had some kind of disease, some kind of sickness that she was dying from. And they needed to try to get that stuff from Black women because his sister was a Black woman. And medically, they needed it to be a match. And the sisters at Spelman was like, absolutely not. After you put that disgusting video and song Tip Drill out, we are not going to help you in any way. And to this day, he's walking around blaming Black women for his sister's death and doesn't accept any responsibility for the fact that the reason why Black women fought so that he could not come to their school is because of what he had done. This idea that they could do whatever they want to us and that we're supposed to just show up to help them, it's so alive and kicking in the community that when we finally put our foot down, they become enraged because they just can't imagine that we should expect fair treatment, equal treatment. So with rare exception, Taye Diggs also blames Black women for the destruction of his career because we stopped supporting him. And I raised my hand for that because when Taye Diggs had that show Kevin Hill on UPN back in the day, and he was on that show with nothing but white and exotic women, and here I was tuning in to support a brother. And then they swapped the little dark-skinned baby out in the show that he had been left custody of when his cousin died or something. And they had a little dark-skinned child, the first little baby girl, the first couple of episodes, and then swapped her out for a lighter-skinned baby. I wrote to UPN and told them, who do you think you are? Here I am as a Black woman trying to support this Black man, and he can't have me represented nowhere, not even the baby girl that he's raised and can't represent true, authentic Black womanhood. I said, if I don't see a Black bitch sometime in the next 2 episodes, not only am I going to stop watching the show, I'm going to encourage every Black woman I know, including my church members. And y'all know I ain't seen it inside of a church. I told them I was going to tell all the ladies at my church, all of my family members, all of my female friends to not support the show. And that show was canceled. And he came out and said that Black women got his show canceled. And I'm raising my hand. Yep, I sure fucking did. Because you're not going to disrespect me or ignore me and expect me to support you. Absolutely not.
Just no reason, just because. No reciprocation, just do it and shut up and don't ask questions. Don't look at anything with a critical eye. Don't complain when you get the scraps. You just shut up and take it.
Shut up and take it.
It's the same with Meek Mill. Black women clowning and acting a damn fool. # free Meek Mill. You know what? He's clowning and acting a fool over lace fronts. He's battling lace fronts right now. The same women that was fighting to get him out of jail were probably wearing lace fronts when they was fighting to get his ass out of jail.
Wait, Meek Mill is fighting over lace fronts?
Yes, Meek Mill has called for a protest of lace fronts.
Why?
Because he's Black.
And
that's all they think about.
Want to humiliate
That's all
Black women.
Think about. Lace fronts small bikes, and wife beaters and backpacks. That's it. That's all they know.
So is he friends with Tommy Sotomayor?
He might be, because he has started a protest against lace fronts. Anybody in the comments know about this? Ask Black women. They'll tell you he's protesting. He's called for a movement against lace fronts.
Well, what did he say is wrong with lace fronts?
I don't know. I guess they laced in the front. I don't know what his problem is with lace fronts. I don't know. He's Black. Black men don't have anything else to think about. He should be worried about his parole officer. He's worried about lace fronts.
Well, it's anything to humiliate and disparage the likeness and image of Black women. Don't get me wrong. I'm not feeling lace fronts either. I think that they are, for the most part, unless they're professionally installed, I think they look horrible on Black women. I think we all walk around here looking like the Planet of the Apes. It's crazy. But that said, they do that kind of stuff in order to mock us, in order to humiliate us, in order to lower our value, to make us less desirable to other men. It's sexual competition, and to mock us and to make us, because when non-Black men see them doing that to us, they think, well, damn, these women must really be trash if their own men celebrate, the hatred of them and encourage other people to mock them. So it's a form of sexual competition. Black women don't understand what's going on. So because they can't directly, and I talked about this on my, and was reading from a scientific journal about sexual competition. And because they can't directly sexually compete with other men through the typical qualities of manhood, of leadership, of building, of hoarding of resources, of control of resources, they can't do that. So then what they do is the object of their covetousness, the object of their envy, the thing that they don't want in the hands of another man, they can't fight the man directly and go toe to toe with him. So what they do is they just throw shit on the thing. They throw shit on it.
Right.
It's like having a treasure, a treasure chest, but you can't protect it. It's too heavy for you to lift. You can't build nothing around it. Just throw shit on it, and hoping that it's going to literally deter anybody from scraping underneath to see what's underneath there. And it's like it's a very well known sexual competition thing that human beings do. But if you got to study like bioevolutionary theory and all that to know that this is what's going on. So that's why they come to the public square every chance they can get to make you look bad, because it's a form of sexual competition. And then they go to you and say, so it's in essence they're going to white men and saying, because that's who they're real scared about, white men, is you don't want these Black bitches. They're all terrible mothers. They're the worst stewards of children. They all wear fake hair. They're all fat. Their coochies smell. They're horrible women. They don't submit. They won't do anything for you. You don't want them. And then they go to the Black woman and they say, you don't want that white man. He's a racist. He thinks your hair is a slave fetish. He just wants to use you and toss you. And then he also says, and the white man doesn't want you, that you're ugly, that you're not feminine, you're not pretty, you're all fat. And so this is his way of sexually competing, because he can't compete on any other terms. And Black women are too silly to realize that that's what's going on. And so one of the things that is, when we're talking about, I talked about it last night, and we're going to delve into it some more tonight. Last night in the study of the rose is still a rose, transmuting sexual trauma into love of self, and then also magnetizing to you love of others, whether it's romantic love, social love, familial love, whatever. Once you start to love yourself, then you open yourself up to true love from other people, and you got to transmute that pain and trauma from the sexual abuse into self-love. And so when we talked about last night, I shared, and we were talking about that study that was released last year, 2017, called Girlhood Interrupted, which was a study done that talks about the ways, the adultification of Black girls. And the study proved that adults see Black girls as less in less need of action, as less innocent, as more sexually comfortable with sexual topics, more worldly, in less need of nurturance. And this is across the board, not just white people. And I was talking about I was connecting that to the trope of unrapeability of Black women and girls during slave trade and during white supremacy, the inceptions of white supremacy in this country. That in order to justify the abuse of and the breeding of Black women and girls that was taking place, and the sexual abuse of Black women and girls at the hands of white men, they had to dehumanize Black women and girls by suggesting that we're not fully women. We're not fully human, and thus we're not fully women. And so we're not under the protected class of womanhood. That as girls and as young women, that we don't need to be protected the way white women and girls do, and particularly upper class white women and girls do, because they didn't have no love for lower class white women and girls either, truth be told. And they particularly did not like Irish, Jews, and Italians. But this unrapeability of the savage Black, so the Black man is the hypersexual rapist, and the Black woman is the hypersexual whore. This unrapeability, which was used to justify the sexual violation of Black women and girls for hundreds of years, is very much alive and kicking in the Black race. Mm-hmm. And you see this with the fast behind girl archetype and trope. And we talked about that in depth last night. And we also see it in this new narrative that's springing up out of the Black male More and SYSM, Save Yourself Black Man, the Black He-Man Black Woman Haters Club sector of the Black community, which is now putting forth this notion that Black women were never raped during slavery, that we were in cahoots the whole time with white men, that we were on the shores of Africa with our booties twerking as the European slave ships rolled up in 1400s twerking because we couldn't wait to be penetrated by white men. They're now using that same idea that was started in the white supremacist system of the unrapeability of Black women and girls. They are now using that primarily because I was the one who came to the public square and said who was at the gate and started talking about Africa and the slave trade. And now, because they realized, oh shit, we're about to get caught. Now we're gonna change the story again. And now the story is that Black women were never raped, and that we were always in cahoots with white men, and that we couldn't wait to be in the bed of the massa.
Yeah, we were
his bed friends. And so they are Black people, and more specifically Black males, are capitalizing off the white supremacy, of the unrapeability of Black women and girls. And so last year, when that study came out about the adultification of Black women and girls, particularly, and the effects that it has on them in the law, in the judicial system, and in academia, in school, and in the courts, they were talking about the white supremacist aspect of it. But what we don't want to talk about in the community is the social and political aspect of it, that is taking the religious aspect of it, and the vehicle of delivery of the idea of the unrapeability of Black women and girls is Black religion. That they have taken what the white man started with, the idea that Black women and girls have no bodily agency, that they don't need to give consent, that they are hypersexual and they're there for breeding stock and to be used as sexual toys. The vehicle of patriarchal religion, particularly Christianity in the West, has been the vehicle of that ideology to Black people. And so Black women have picked up the mantle and have been replicating this thing of the fast behind girls, where it is promoted in the community that Black girls are never rapeable, that they're never coercible, that girls as young as 9 and 10 should have known better, that they're out there being promiscuous, starting it up, that they want all of this sexual attention, that they want to be abused. And it's Black women and Black men who are promoting that in the community. So it's not surprising that R. Kelly could get away with 30 years of doing that in the community, because it is proliferated within the community that Black girls are unrapeable. And that comes directly from white supremacy. So when I hear Black people talking about dismantling white supremacy, I know that they're lying, ladies, because so much of what we think and believe is direct results of white supremacy, and we're not trying to fight that. We're not trying to fight that. That's why R. Kelly is able to continue right now at the club 3 nights ago, celebrating his birthday, full of niggas, taking video and dancing and going down memory lane as he did his greatest hits. Even a week after this whole thing was exposed about what he's been doing to Black women and girls in the community, and nobody cares. Why? Because Black people agree with white supremacists that Black women and girls are unrapeable, that we are promiscuous, hypersexual, immoral beasts
Correct.
who are there for nothing but for breeding stock and for sexual pleasure. And Black people agree, and that's why it continues to go on. And so when we were talking about that yesterday in the group, we were really trying to get home to the fact that this is about something much bigger than focus on R. Kelly. That the reason why R. Kelly can exist is because of everyday Black people. And ultimately, the point of this event is to get the members, the women in the group, to look around their lives and to get honest about who in their life would be the bystanders that we see on TV, who all sat back for 25 years and colluded or dismissed what R. Kelly was doing. Who would be that in your life? Because if you want to stop the spirit of sexual perversion in this community, you can't wait for the men to come forward and lead it. You can't wait for the politics to politic against it. There are going to be no petitions. No one is going to stand on the street corner lobbying for your interests. You as an individual Black woman are going to have to be vigilant and make it your mission to stop that sexual perversion and that generational curse in your life and in the life of your loved ones. You have to pick up the mantle. The community is not going to do it for you. But if you internalize this idea that Black women and girls are unrapeable, then you're not going to do that. So if you got family members around you, we're talking about that's behind girls hoe over there and slut shaming black girl promiscuity, even though we all know that promiscuity in young children, particularly girls, is often the results of sexual abuse. If you got family members who are still using those terms, who are still justifying R. Kelly and excuse making the abuse that's taking place of girls and even younger boys in the community, then those people are threats to the welfare of your children and your life. So you're going to have to reevaluate your relationships to those people. So this is what we're talking about in the event, and we're just getting started. Last night we were on till 3 o'clock in the morning. We launched again in an hour and a half. We're going to watch the next 2 episodes of the show. We're watching it live in the space. So we're watching it live in the space, and then we having a telecall, and we're going to go into some more things tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to offer the tips, tools, strategies to help Black women begin to challenge the spirit of sexual perversion and to claim their life. It's a really deep, heavy topic, and we are approaching it with the sensitivity and with the compassion, but also with a determinedness that only you can change this for yourself as Black women. And so this is why they have to flag down our videos and try to get us, because they say they want you to choose better. They say they want you to have higher standards, because if you raise your standards as women, then the community will raise that standard. But that's not what they really want, because they don't really want to become better versions of themselves. They really don't. They want to excuse make, and they want to continue to victimize and vamp off those that are most vulnerable in the community, the elderly, the infirmed, those who have, cognitive issues, autism and stuff like that. And then of course, children and women. And so they want to feed off of the energy of the most vulnerable people in the community. And if you as the Black woman start thinking differently and making different choices, if people start going to jail, people start coming up missing, people start getting reported, dollars stop being spent, if you stop it, they will be forced to make a choice. So when you choose better, then they have to choose better. And they don't want you to bring them to the brink. You must bring them to the brink. And Black women won't do it. But y'all will bring us to the brink, though, because you sure did help flag down Sunshine's video in the middle of us live streaming just a couple of hours ago.
In the middle of it.
Right. I want to just say, too, there is a quote here from a apparent white supremacist about how Black women defend the men at any cost, even to themselves. And I was really kind of shocked when I saw it. And this was a quote that was left in our last event, the Surviving R. Kelly event, with the 3 of us on the panel. And this was left by Coco Chanel. You know what's bad when even white nationalist websites are speaking against R. Kelly and saying that in our own race, Black men come first and Black women are deemed worthless in our community. Copied and pasted below. Read. Originally posted by Francis Schefter, whatever his name. Black women love their Black men above all else, even their own safety and well-being. Growing up, going to school, working in the inner city, I was exposed to enough of the behavior of Blacks to know what's what. In that race and community, the males come first, and females are considered completely worthless. It is basically a watered down version of how things are in Africa, where abuse and the rape of females is common, accepted part of life. It is truly a disgusting, female-destroying culture. Africans and this misogynistic, sick garbage simply have no place at all in the race. So you have people who are racists who are saying, dang, y'all really hate your women. And y'all women really seem to not care how much you're hated. And you will fight to the men who, for the men who hate you to the death.
I told you they fought for him, and now he's protesting their lace fronts.
Right. See? It's just the betrayal is just beyond belief. But I mean, we're beyond caring about the betrayal. It's about moving on, and then also just protecting ourselves from people who want to continue to pull you down, because there is a brainwashing initiation process that happens. Dang, with no notifications, we got 500 people in here. So shout out to everybody. I made you a mod so that you can put the link to your PayPal. I'm gonna also make sure that you give me the link to your PayPal, because shout out to Juliet who donated $100 to Sunshine. Kendall, also put your link in your mod as well. Put your PayPal link in there. And if you guys want to support these sisters, you can do so directly. And they definitely do need your support, because while some people make a lot of money on YouTube because, you know, maybe they're doing stop motion Barbie videos, or maybe they're talking celebrity news and just inane things that don't make you think deeply and aren't a threat, they do very well. But channels like ours, where we really delve into issues that are controversial, there is no real reward on YouTube for us. So your support matters. So you ladies, make sure you put your PayPal links in there. And for the
PayPal shut my account down.
So they did you have like a Cash App or? Okay, so is there a link to your Cash App? Okay. So just make sure you put that in there. I just wanted to make sure you guys need to know that there's not really a reward on YouTube for the message that Sunshine is giving. And so your support is helpful. As you can see, nobody got the notification. I had to send it through my network of Facebook. You guys sent it to your network of people. And so
I posted it on my Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, so you guys have brought the numbers up, but it wasn't by any help from YouTube. So thank you for your continued support, and thank you to everyone who contributed. And I just wanted to say that before we moved on. Kendall, you can continue. I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure that we put that out.
For anybody who would like to, because it's not too late to get in on the A Rose is Still a Rose event. We still have 2 nights. We recorded the telecall. The live screening of the first 2 episodes of Surviving R. Kelly are available. So it's not too late to get put on. So I'm going to post the link to my email list. You need to hurry up though. Get on my email list because I'll send out another invite right after we finish this event. This live. And if you're on my email list, you'll get it and you can register to be a part of it. I do not suggest that y'all miss this. This conversation is a necessary conversation.
And it's the both it's the Purple Pill event you guys are waiting. So it's the both of us presenting.
Right. It's both Christelyn and I are here during this I'm sorry, y'all, because I was trying to, and that's why I sound so crazy. Both Christelyn this event, so we're both talking and we're sharing different talking points, and we are trying to help Black women make the psychological and emotional transition. Because here is the deal: we need to, while R. Kelly, of course, is the predator, and he needs to be punished. He needs to be taken down and punished for what he has done. What we really want, the reason why we're showing the show live in the group, and the reason why we're hosting this event is not about R. Kelly. It is about the collusion of everyone around R. Kelly, everyday Black people. These are not boogeymen in the bushes. These are not evil KKK members or Tea Party or Proud Boys or members of the Republican Party, the white Republican Party. These are everyday Black people, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. This is his Black female music teacher, his friends that he grew up with, his bodyguards, all of the parents of these girls, everyday Black people who colluded, who protected, who deflected, and are still doing so, to the tune of 25 years and probably hundreds of victims. And we want you to understand that we don't want y'all to get caught up and glamored and focus on the celebrity of R. Kelly and then be in your feelings and have your righteous indignation and everybody hashtags for a minute, mute R. Kelly, surviving R. Kelly, and then move on. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing happens 5 years from now, we're all in our feelings again. No, what we want you to do is use this. Because this conversation is now global, do Black girls' lives matter? That's everyone is asking it. CNN, Time Magazine. So this is the time now. This is your moment now as Black women to look around your life and to see, if you see it, that it is everyday Black people that allowed R. Kelly to do what he's doing, then you need to recognize that it's everyday Black people who would do it to you or your children or people that you care about. So what we want you to do is make an emotional and psychological shift from looking at this as an example of the abuses of a powerful Black man, and to look at it as an example of the collusion of everyday Black people. That is why we're hosting this event. Because if you single him out and think, oh, he's just a mentally ill pervert, then it's easy to say, but that wouldn't happen in my family, or I would never allow that to happen in my household. But Black women are allowing it every day. And I think part of the reason why we're allowing it is because it doesn't look like, when it happens in real life, what we picture it looking like when we see it on TV. And so what we're studying, what we're primarily studying is not R. Kelly. It is his victims, and it is the bystanders. When you listen to some of the parents talk about the thinking process, how they rationalize handing their baby girls over to this man. So last night we talked about exaggerated visibility. We talk about Black people's need for the quick fix. The idea that we think that our only way out, the only way to have success is through the world of entertainment, or in the world of entertainment through music or athleticism. So our parents, because we think that we're not going to get as far through academia. When I was coming along, the baby boomer generation and those that right before it, right out of slavery, Black people knew that we needed education. So there was this big push towards education. But I think after a few decades of becoming educated and realizing that there were still many roadblocks for us in society, and see that we didn't get as far with being twice as smart, having twice as many credentials, that the only place that we could visibly see Black people winning was in athleticism and in music. And I think that we talked about this last night, and the women were contributing some very great ideas. We have very smart women with very varied backgrounds. We have we have doctors, we have lawyers, and we have teachers, we have social workers, we have people who work in the Black community and outside of it, lending their expertise and their opinions. And some of the ideas that were brought up was that Black people have now, our value system has redirected us away from academic success and pursuits in building businesses and stuff towards the entertainment industry, because it's the one area that we see Black people winning. And so when these parents think that their child has an opportunity to be mentored by a star like R. Kelly, their rationale begins to change. And things that they would normally not go for if he was just any regular person suddenly they're more willing to negotiate, because they're thinking, this is my child and thus my family's one and only opportunity to make it out, to be big. And we talked about the need for exaggerated visibility that Black people have, that we value fame over building. We value, we want all eyes on us. We talked about low self-esteem, and we're really going into it in this call, ladies. We're not just sitting around and talking about white men saving us from the evil Black pedophiles. That's not what we're talking about. We're going deep into sociology, into psychology, into history, We're going into the things that have allowed last night's conversation was about ecosystems. The petri dish that is the Black community. Dark, wet, and hot was the title of last night's discussion. And we talked about the ways in which the beliefs and the behaviors that allow the favorable conditions for what R. Kelly did. We're not sitting around talking about white men coming to save us. So don't listen to other people tell you what we're doing and the work we do behind closed doors. They don't know what they're talking about. We are delving into the meat, into the heart of these issues. And we're just getting started. Tonight, we're going to continue the conversation. We're going to watch episodes 2, 3, and 4 live in the space. And then tomorrow we are going to present actionable plans. We're going to provide action plans, solutions, tips, strategies of how for those of us, how to prevent the next generation of Black children and women from being abused and being the victim of sexual perversion in the community. And then also how to redirect if you yourself or people that you love and care about have been affected directly by it. So we still have much more to discuss. Last night we were on the phone. We started the study. Started a little late last night because we had so many late people show up. So we started last night at 8 p.m. when we were supposed to start at 7 p.m. And we were between the live between the live screenings of the first 2 episodes and the telecall discussion afterwards, we were on the line from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we had 8 hours last night. Tonight we launch at 7 o'clock. We're going to do the next 2 episodes, and then we're going to start our telecall discussion directly after that, probably close to 9 p.m. And we'll probably be on the phone to the wee hours of the morning. And everybody was still, still awake and talking last night when we ended at 3. I made us stop because Chris was getting tired. I was getting tired, and we need to reserve our energy stores because we have more work to do. But the ladies, when we ended the call last night, we still had 90 people on the call.
Yeah.
Last night, 100 and something people on the call. At the height, we had 100 and something women on the call. And then by the time we ended the call, we had like 80 something people. 8 hours later, we still had 80 something women, and people still talking. We had to wind it down because we were getting so tired. Right, and tonight we about to do it all over again.
But I was like, oh my God. I mean, I had a moment where I just had a little micro sleep. You know how you're driving? You don't drive, Kendall, but whoever you guys drive, you've been driving for a long time. It's late. And you just have that.
I drive 15 years old. Of course I drive. Yeah, you get tired. And Chris texted me. He was like, "Girl, I don't know how much longer I can do." I was like, "Okay," because we're tired. And you got to remember, we put in a lot of work the last couple of days just to get this going. And this process, I need for y'all to follow the instructions. I need for you to make sure you submit your job form before you submit.
You wanted to go over that real quick. Just the steps. Because there's a link. Both the links to join are in the description. Excuse me, in the description box. But listen to Kendall's instructions, please, right now.
Please. Y'all not following instructions makes so much the work harder for us, and we started an hour late yesterday because of it. So when you get the invite, or even if you use the links in this is only for Black women, all right? First of all. Second of all, you must submit the event agreement form. Please submit that before you submit payment. Why? Because when your payment comes in, I immediately start the vetting process. If you send payment and I go, there's no event, move on. I'm not going to circle back around and remind you to do what you were instructed to do. I don't have time. Okay, I have other people who followed instructions who need to get access. And what's happening is, because I'm so busy chasing behind people who did not follow the instructions, the people who did are falling through the cracks. We have people emailing us saying, I didn't get put in. It's because they're falling through the cracks because I'm having to stop and deal with people who did not. And then what's happening with some of you is because you don't follow instructions, you don't get an email from us, then you're going to PayPal asking for refunds. And let me tell you something, I'm not going to fight you on refunds. If you go to PayPal and ask for a refund, I'm going to give you your money back, and then I'm going to take you off my email list. Chris is going to take you off of hers, and you will be permanently banned from our events moving forward. Don't circle back 6 months from now begging to be let back in. I don't play. Y'all know that I'm a dark wisdom woman. I'm not very forgiving. So if you cross me, then I'm going to deal with you, and I'm not going to circle back around and feel sorry for you now because you realize you fucked up and now put you back on. Nope. You get one. I'm a one and done.
That just happened with somebody.
It happened yesterday. Someone asked for their money back and I gave them because she didn't follow instructions. So I gave her a refund and I said, you're going to get your money back and you're taken off my list. Do not resubscribe. You are permanently banned. And then she comes back contrite. And I'm like, well, maybe if you had been contrite the first time, we would listen. We got hundreds of women joining. It's just us two. So yes, email us and let us know we haven't gotten a link or whatever. But when I send out that email, it has all of the instructions. If you don't read the email thoroughly, if you don't submit the job form, if you skip steps, if your Facebook page doesn't allow for me to send you a Facebook friend request, then how can I make you a part of a group if I can't get access to your Facebook page? Y'all have to think common sense. If you have your Facebook page blocked so no one can send you Facebook requests, then how can we become friends with you? We can't add people we're not friends with.
Privacy settings are so high that you can't be added to groups. This happens all the time.
And now you
the old pink pill group. Well, I tried to put you in. I sent you an email. I sent you all these invitations, but you have your privacy settings up so high that you cannot be added to groups. And it's like, yeah.
Get it. You have your privacy setting, protect yourself. But when you know that I'm going to be sending you a friend request, change your privacy settings until we're friends and then change them back. But so what happens, ladies, is, let me explain to you the process. Your payment comes in. When I go, I see the payments and I have to go one by one through PayPal to see who it is, what they paid for, because people are also paying for my final sale events. So you're not the only one sending payments. I got payments coming in for a lot of different things. A bitch is on her grind. So I have to go into each payment to see what is what. When I see you, I copy your PayPal email address and I go to look for you on Jotform for the event agreement. That's how I find you. I copy it and I paste it in the search in Jotform to see if you come up. If you do not come up because you haven't submitted your form yet, I'm moving on because I'm going to the next person and the next person. And I may not circle back around to see if you sent your Jotform in. So then what happens is you send payment, and then 3 hours later, you send your job form. By that time, I already went looking for you and moved on. The job form comes in. I'm not now going back to job form to see all the people that I missed. Why? Because I have to add people to the group because it's time to start the event. So if you don't follow the sequence of instructions that you are given, then you are going to delay your entry to the space. And it causes double work for me and Christelyn, and it holds up the train. Tonight, I'm not holding up any trains. Anybody who pays and have not followed the instructions are just going to have to wait until tomorrow to get access. And if you go to PayPal asking for a refund because you didn't get to participate live, we're not going to fight you on a refund, even though it was your fault because you didn't follow instructions. We're going to refund you and then remove you from our email list and ban you from our platforms. Why? Because we're trying to teach you what we live by, which is that you have to recognize as Black women that there are policies, procedures, and protocols that must be followed in life if you want to win at the game of life. And there are windows of opportunity that are only open once and closed, never to open again. If you hesitate, if you choke, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't follow instructions, you are going to miss out. And it's not, y'all, and this is what we're going to talk about tonight, ladies. Every time I start bringing up your religious beliefs, y'all get in your feelings. And I'm not going to go into it deep here. If you want to hear what I have to say, come find us. But let me just say this. The danger of some of y'all's belief system is in this. When you think that you're entitled to a second, third, fourth, and fifth chance from God, whatever you call God, it also makes you think that you're entitled to a second, third, fourth, fifth, and 10th chance in life. Mm-hmm. And we as Black people have no concept of the idea that sometimes you only get one choice. You don't get to choose again. And so when you miss out on opportunities or you choose wrong the first time, there is no backseas and there is no do-over. That this is it. This is why Black men don't understand how they can go to jail for felonies and then get mad when they can't find jobs. This is how Black women can have 3 hour wet.
They're not looking for jobs.
And then
they're not looking for jobs.
And then be surprised when no man of his worth wants to marry them and wants to be serious with them. Well, I don't understand. You're going to judge me because I've been in jail. Yes. I don't understand. You're going to judge me because I got kids. Yeah. Because sometimes the first choice is the only choice. And we as Black people, our religious beliefs got us believing in redemption so much that we think just like we can go to church and praise God on Sunday, and then the following Friday, be shaking it up, twerking, drinking, and drugging, and then ask for forgiveness Sunday morning. You think that you're going to get that everybody is Jesus everyone is not Jesus. And what you're going to find is in the outside world, outside of Blackistan, that nobody is Jesus. Nobody cares about your sad story. There aren't second chances. And let me tell you the difference between us and them. In other ecosystems, you will not get an invite. You will not get the job. You will not get the second date. You will not get invited, and you will never know why. And you'll assume it's because of racism when it has less to do with race and more to do with class and pedigree. You're low class. You don't know or follow policies, protocols, and procedures, and you think that you're supposed to get second and fourth and fifth times. And so what we're trying to teach you is this. Come correct the first time. I sat down and I write out those emails and explain. I highlight, I color code, I put in links to inform you.
You did a whole video on what to do.
So if I'm doing that, I take my time so that you will know what to do. If you skip over any step in that process or do them out of order, you are breaking the chain of instruction. So that what happens is when I now have a process that follows that process that I've created for you, when I now go to look for you, if you do not have an event form where I can find you and know who you are, find your Facebook page. I ask you to please put the link to your Facebook page in the jot form. Why? So that when you come up, I check you out. I see who you are. Then I click on the link. Your Facebook page comes up. I send you a friend request. If you just put your name, Tracy Johnson, how am I supposed to find you? So I put Tracy Johnson in the search and 5,000 bitches pop up. I ain't got time to be trying to figure out cross-referencing. Well, I see this Tracy Johnson is friends with Christelyn, so she's probably the Tracy Johnson that's not. I ain't got time for that. Why? Because the women who do follow the instruction deserve my time and attention. And it's not fair for them to end up having to either fall through the cracks and end up not even getting access because I'm so busy being distracted with you, or to have to sit and wait for an hour to start because I'm dealing with you. Y'all are going to have to learn that the changes that you want to see in your life start with you. You have to become the change you seek. You cannot operate under typical Blackistani ideas and mannerisms and protocols and think that you're going to win in the larger world. So no, if you come to us asking for a refund for an event that you did not follow the process to register for and participate in, we're not going to fight you. You can get your little $65 back, but it's going to cost you so much more in the end. And I am not forgiving. Christelyn's a lot more forgiving than me. I ain't a forgiving bitch. If you come deal with me, you know that going in. So if you cross me and if you disrespect my time and you show that you don't have no respect for the law and lay of my land. So y'all dance to Negroes tunes. If y'all think that there's some black love, or if you think that there's a white knight, if it's bundles and balls and beliefs attached to it, y'all will follow a sequence of 100 steps in order to get what you want. But when you're dealing with another black woman, then you become lazy. You think we need to do all the work. You think all you have to do is invest your money. But no, baby girl. Just like when you go to school, you pay for the tuition, but that's just to pay the gatekeeper. Right. Then you got to get the books. Then you got to get the syllabus. You got to show up to class, participating. You have to do and turn in assignments. You have to work on teams. Y'all come to us and think that payment is all that's required for us to change your fate. Payment is just paying the gatekeeper. That's just granting you access. Granted, then the real work begins. So if I'm seeing that you're not even following the secrets of instructions before you even start on my platform, I know you're not the type of woman that I want. You ain't ready for me. So I'm going to refund your ass and then I'm going to block you. And I don't circle back around 6 months later asking for forgiveness because you're not going to get it from me. I'm not forgiving. I'm not, because I know that y'all would not do this stuff if it was about dealing with black men, or if you thought that what you was going to get was a man at the end of it, you would do whatever you thought was necessary. So I know what you prioritize and I know what you value. I know that you sold that Benny Harlem sold out, selling you $400 Trader Joe's hair syrup in 59 seconds. I know that you will do when you want something, or you would figure out how to make it happen as a black woman. The community would not have survived this long if you weren't resourceful as fuck. So when you come to me and you want to bring me the lowest version of yourself and you want to show up half-assed, then I don't want you. I'll give you your money back and keep it popping so that I can give my full attention to those black women who are serious. So here is the sequence of steps. Fill out and submit the event form. The event form has a code of conduct, a code of expectations, and a non-disclosure agreement. A confidentiality clause. There is a part in it where it says, please put the link to your Facebook page. Do not give me the name of your Facebook page. Go up to your Facebook page, not your home page. Because some of y'all are sending me just general Facebook links. Go to your page where your picture is, right? In your newsfeed, go up to the top and copy the URL at the top, copy it, and then paste it in the space. So that way, when I get your event agreement form, I have everything I need to get you through the vetting process and into the experience, into the group. I can click on it and send you a friend request. What I also need you to do is go check your settings to see if you have friend requests blocked. You have a friend request, then I'm going to move on from you. Okay? So then when you circle back to later, 5 minutes before the event starts or 25 minutes after it's already started, in my email saying, I didn't get a link. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to ignore you. Last night, I was in the middle of doing the work and hosting and still answering email. I'm not doing it tonight. Tonight, I'm focused on the women who did what they were supposed to do. So that means that if you have to wait till tomorrow when I get to you, then or after the event is over. Ladies, ain't nobody got time to come back to your profile, your payment 6 different times because you didn't follow instructions. You get once and that's it. And then you want to go to PayPal and say that we're bad business women. But the truth of it is you're bad consumers. You're bad customers. Let's keep it real. Y'all are bad. Some of you, the women who are about it, boy, they get their stuff in and they send me, there is a problem. They're like, hi, my name is Jackie Thomas. My number was B7256. My email address on my PayPal account was onelove.13. My Facebook name is, put the link to their Facebook name. My real name is, my home address. Because they are about me.
The blood type is,
you're not lying. No, that's true.
Right.
When they want to
blood type is, my firstborn's name is, my social security. But if you email me from an email address that says onelove13@AOL.com, it says, hi, I registered for your event. What happens next? Right. No real name, reference. Even your email doesn't have your, how am I supposed to know who you are? We're not buddies. I'm not your girlfriend. This is business. Right. You have to come to me with business so I can give you what you paid for. It's not just a one-way dynamic of you just show up and hit a PayPal link and then you rest back and be a pillow princess. Right. You don't do that when you're dealing with these dudes. You don't do that when you're dealing with your hair. You don't do that when you're dealing with your religion. Don't do it when you're dealing with us. Don't be lazy and bring to us. You think we're going to do all the work for you. The PayPal button is just the start. Right. It's just saying I'm willing to invest to gain access. But that's not the end. You got work to do. So unless you're willing to put in some work, then don't even hit the button. We be all right. Because we got a deadline to keep us plenty compensated. So please don't think you're doing us a favor by hitting the PayPal button. We could have charged 3 times the amount that we charged for this event, for the amount of work that we put into it. I normally charge $150 for a 3-day event. We charge $65. That's a little over half.
Yeah, and that was actually with the Digi split. So I wanted to just say really quickly, Black Women's Fair, you joined. Welcome. You've muted yourself though. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I just wanted to be respectful of the conversation.
Okay. Kendall, did you want to just wrap up that and then we could listen to what Black Women's Fair wanted to say?
Yes, I just want to say, listen, man, we're not being hard on you just because we don't like you. Stop listening to these people tell you you don't like Black women. No, what we don't like is the stuff that you do that ultimately causes you and the rest of us to be the sacrifice. Y'all are all here because you want change. How do you expect people to like? Things are jacked up because there are problems. So no, we don't like those problems. We're here to change the problems. So you got to be prepared to change. Don't bring the typical way you act and behave. You got to be prepared to do something else. You got to pay more particular attention. And you got to show up with some damn respect. Show us that you respect what we're doing. Got a hit to do this work. Sunshine just got her YouTube channel flagged today. My YouTube channel is permanently terminated. So we take a lot of hits. So if we give you instructions, then follow the instructions. And that way, You get what you paid for. We can provide the service that we're offering, and we can come and do this thing. So I know that it sounds like I'm always on you, but I want you to hear. You need to hear the truth so you can start making changes. So we're welcoming. We want you to join, but just it's 2 steps, 3 steps.
I wanted to Kendall, I wanted to say something about what you just said. I'm sorry, Black woman. So you know we cool, girl. Give me just 1 second, and then I'm gonna let you talk. So I want to make sure I say that because I think people are a little bit sensitive. But
what are they sensitive about?
Because Black women are just overly sensitive. So check this out, though, y'all. Black women really need, y'all keep talking to me about 2019 is Black Women's Year, and I've been promising y'all this is gonna be our fucking year. But Black women really need to like pay attention. She's not saying anything that's not true. Y'all have done the same thing to me. You'll join my sex work classes. You'll just send me the money and never tell me who you are. I have your money, girl. Tell me who you are. I got right. Send me back. Who are you? So, and seriously, and I think that this is a serious, and I want to see Black women win. I think that Black women count too much on somebody to think for them. And that's why R. Kelly can get a hold of your daughter and you don't know how to call the fucking police because there's nobody there to tell you to call the police on his ass. So you need to get your ass in this event, follow the steps so that you can start learning how to think for yourself. And I'm not saying that all Black women can't think for themselves, but a lot of Black women can. A lot of Black women look for direction. You have to start listening to people who can give you the keys to take the steps for yourself. Y'all, Black women don't listen. Y'all do the same shit to me.
I think it's also it's to save your
contract. To figure out whose money it is. And that right. Won't say anything. I would be on my page like, please tell me who sent me $200. I don't know who you are. They never say anything. $200. Yes. I'm not giving it back to you.
It's the salvation. Y'all are waiting for saviors. Ladies, no one is coming to save you. Not even us. You have to save yourself. And there'll be way showers and guides and people who will show up to help you, but you have to save yourself. So this, I think what Sunshine just said is really captures it. You're waiting for someone. You think that once you pay, then you just get to sit back and someone else then comes and lifts you up and gently guide you into a changed fate. No, the payment is just to get access. The payment just says, okay, I'm serious. Then after that, the real work becomes no different than if you were, like I said, if you were taking a class, you don't pay the tuition and then just expect to get a degree just because you paid tuition. The work begins once you pay tuition. You still have work to do. And I think that y'all are so used to kind of sitting, like I said, I think the religion has programmed y'all to sit and you think you show up and someone stirs your emotions and gets you feeling emotional and you think you've done something. You ain't done shit. And so when it comes to us, you take that same approach. Well, I paid her. So then you think you're just supposed to sit back now and someone's going to carry you to salvation. We're not Jesus. This is not the Black church. This shit requires work. The work starts when you hit the PayPal button, doesn't end. So yes. Y'all get in your feelings because, and here is the deal. We're telling you what no one else is going to tell you, ladies. We're telling you this because we care. Because what is happening is y'all are talking about securing bags. Y'all are talking about swirling. Y'all talking about taking Becky's man, plucking Becky's man from right up out of her, right
Becky
up underneath her.
Becky too fucking smart. Becky gonna pluck her man back because y'all won't think.
Right. Because you won't you are not ready for those ecosystems if you can't follow basic instructions for a damn Facebook group. This is why I have a no forgiveness policy, because what I realize is a lot of you, some of you are you're retreating to escapism again, even with us. So just like the Betty Harlan thing, oh, if I pay $400 for this product, I'm going to grow long hair down my ass. And you don't want to take the time it takes to cultivate healthy natural hair or whatever. You're waiting for an easy fix. There is no easy fix for you as a Black woman. So when you pay us, that is just the beginning. It is not the end. So how do you plan to attract and magnet wealthy suitors? Y'all want to grab bags, secure bags. How you dealing with these men? You think they got to be wealthy? You think they got to be men of means being stupid? No, they are powerful dudes who know what they're doing, and they looking for chicks the same. If you go up in and you don't follow instructions, you're gonna do things the way you want to do it. You're not ready for what you say you want, and you show that you're not ready for. You can't even handle it with us. So how could you possibly be ready for it in ecosystems that you're not even native to, that you're a refugee in? Yeah. So that's why we are the way we are. We're coming at you cutting, giving you some tough love, because ladies, with us, you know, you get banned from our platform, and yeah, that's a heavy cost. But in outside of our ecosystem, it can cost you a job, it can cost you a husband or a wife, it can cost your children safe schools, it can cost your children's innocence.
It can cost you freedom. I mean, seriously, it can cost you. You can go to jail by not following rules. So
yes, y'all signing my NDA and treating it like it's a game, and you don't realize that my NDA is legally binding. If you violate it, I am within my legal rights to sue you. How would you feel if you wake up one day and your doorbell rings and you got a process server ringing your doorbell because Kendall St. Charles is suing you for violating the NDA that you signed on her platform? Y'all just signing it and not even thinking about the fact that it is legally binding. You think you treat it tritely. It is not, and you wonder why Black people treat you tritely, because you don't show any respect for your fellow Black women. So no one shows any respect for you. So that's why they can make covenants like marriage and then cheat on you, or make covenants through the blood, have children with you and walk away. You don't show any respect for your own agreements, your own covenants, the things you sign and agree to and say you're about. So then the reason why people can violate you, the reason why people can manipulate you, the reason why people can sell you anything, the reason why people can boundary cross, the reason why people can feed off of you, the reason why R. Kelly is able to do what he did to hundreds of women is because of the same kinds of lack of awareness, laziness, same kinds of stuff that we see in the work that we do with you. And we're trying to help you see the connection. If you don't follow policy protocols and procedures with us, that means you're not following them at work, you're not following them in romance, you're not following them in social climbing, you're not following in beauty, and then you're gonna sit and whine and talk about how nobody wants you and nobody's there to help you, but you don't recognize nobody's coming in to save you. We're not Jesus. And this is why I keep talking about the dangers of religion and how it primes the mind, because it really has Black women sitting around waiting for someone to come in for free, show up simply with a YouTube notification or a Facebook notification, and to change their fate. Yeah. And I get on y'all a lot about that. I think y'all think one girl say, well, I love KsC, but she whines too much. But what you think is whining is really a warning, because we have access to those other ecosystems that you guys want. You guys are going to get out there, even if you're able to fix the outside and go out and get into those ecosystems, you're going to crash. You're going to self-sabotage, and you're going to destroy it for the next Black woman coming behind you, because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know the policies, procedures, and protocols, and you're too arrogant and too defiant to learn. So this is why we're telling you, follow the sequence of events, a sequence of steps with us. And that is the beginning of you following the sequence of steps to level up at the game of life. So go ahead, Black woman fear.
They would have been able to smell that grease that Ben and Harlem sold them, and they would have knew that shit was fish grease. Black women don't think.
A Black woman's fear. What are you going to say to all of this?
Okay, so one thing that I wanted to add to the conversation was, I don't know if y'all been watching, but I've been going through hell trying to support Black women. So for me, it's just the support just goes unreciprocated. It's almost like people can't even realize your kindness. It's almost like they don't know how to identify it. They don't know what it looks like. They don't know what it sounds like. They don't know what being genuine sounds like. So it's almost like you got to vet your way through just showing support to another Black woman. And that's what's pissing me the fuck off on YouTube. Because when I first came on YouTube, I didn't even know anything about you, KsC, Sunshine just came on. I got recognized by her, through her from KsC, but I didn't know anything. I just came on from Facebook, and I was just watching videos, and then eventually I started supporting different Black women, and it just kind of built from there. And I started offering my opinion. But one thing I noticed is that Black women don't support each other. And I don't understand what's so fucking difficult about that. I thought it would be an easy task. I actually thought that, hey, why can't we support each other? These fucking Black men on YouTube are horrific. They are terrorists. They are fucking criminals. So I said, what's the problem? Why can't we support each other, even if we disagree? Why can't, if we see someone directly attacking another Black woman, why can't we all have a collective brain and get rid of the problem? And so I thought a sisterhood should be formed. Just the act of even trying to do that and doing it with, I'm not going to say you guys, but it was just the pro-Black women. They were extremely difficult to deal with. And when I say I offered nothing but respect to these women and got nothing but disrespect back.
You don't have a Black dick.
Yeah, we saw.
They're not going to respect you. You have to have a Black dangling.
Yeah, I saw that exchange with you and Cynthia G and Nyla Says. And you're actually paired with a Black man.
Right.
You just said, I want to see Black women happy. And Cynthia G responded with, oh, so you want to see Black women happy at the expense of your people, which really means you want to see Black women happy without Black men or despite, right, or whether or not you're with them or not. That's what she meant. And you said yes, and you got cut off. I mean, if that exchange isn't telling about the machinations of the mentality of that group of people, I don't know what is, because you know you fit the pedigree, right? You're not a swirler, you know, you're authentically Black, you're with a Black man, and you're just saying, I want Black women to be happy. And you have other Black women say, how dare you? How dare you? You're not my sister if you don't think like us, if you don't take up the same mantle, if you don't follow this line of thinking, this line of consciousness, you aren't my sister. And for a group of people to swear up and down to everybody that they're not a monolith, look at how they treat people who think differently. Each one of us, there's 4 women on this panel, and we think in a different way. We have varying we have varying platforms, but we have one thing in common, that we are advocates for Black girls and women. We want to see them succeed, but we all have our discrete platforms. We all have our separate platforms, but here we are able to get together and respect one another, to help one another, to elevate one another. And look at the people who say that they're so for their people. Look at how they treat people who don't fall in line. This is just another example of how that works.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was saying. And, you know, once that happened on the panel, I was not expecting that. I can tell you that. I literally spoke to both of those ladies behind the scenes, and I offered nothing but support. So when I came into the chat and, you know, I was like, wow, this is a good conversation. I would like to be a part of that. They said, come on up on a panel. How interracial dating came up was really like a fluke, because when I came on a panel, I initially addressed Black men. That's who I initially started talking to, and that came up. I can't even remember how it came up. It was a little while ago, but when it came up, I just remember Cynthia G's tone changing from completely agreeing to all of my talking points about Black men to saying, hey, so you support swirling? And I said, what I support is Black women and their happiness and expanding their options. Yes, because Black women can look for the needle in a haystack for the rest of their fucking life. But like I say all the time, we are not cats. We do not have 9 lives. We have but one. So either you're going to do the best you can with that one life. You may not find Tyrone is not available to you, honey. So it's almost like a agenda for you to suffer. And I don't support that agenda to suffer. I don't think Black women have to suffer. I think they're beautiful. I think that they have options that they don't even know they have. Because the Black community has been telling them, if you get in a relationship with a white man, he's going to abuse you. He's going to beat you. He's going to murder you. But when the truth of the matter is, if a man ain't shit, he ain't shit. I don't care what his race is.
Well, I would ask them, well, raping, murdering, and killing us with babies in our bellies right now. I mean, who's doing that? Well,
wrong.
And sit up here and say, well, white men aren't going to marry you. Well, are y'all marrying us?
Yeah.
Or are y'all just wanting to sit around and make out of wedlock babies and Netflix and chill? So what are you doing?
Oh no, it's not Netflix and chill anymore. It's the $60 Ruby Tuesdays that they want some dessert after, or they blast you on Facebook. Honey, this man posted a whole receipt of a $60 Ruby Tuesday date. They don't even want the damn Netflix. They have to subscribe to that. They're not doing no subscriptions for you.
Oh,
they just want to take you Ruby Tuesday.
But I find it ironic. Somebody made an excellent point and said, white men aren't going to marry you. Well, guess what? Black men aren't going to marry you either. So guess what? Well, white men are going to call you the N-word. Well, y'all call me the N-word.
Yeah.
Exactly. You darky and nappy-headed. Well, you call me darky and nappy-headed. So tell me, what do I have to lose? Like, really? What do I
might as well be called darky, nappy-headed, and the N-word by somebody that has some money.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you what offended me the most by that conversation is because I've watched your videos. I've been watching for a while, even before you even knew I was a fly on the wall. I've been watching. So the thing that bothers me the most about what people say about you, and you probably missed this, CK, but they invited me on a panel yesterday, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to see what they were so fucking ignorant. I asked them, I'm going to tell you what I asked and what lit them on fire. They called me every bitch, hoe, dummy, remedial, retarded. I asked them, I said, how are you able to support Phil from the Advice Show, but you cannot support CK? I want to know what's the difference. And they just went right into bitch, because bitch this. And I said, what is the difference? You want to talk about what I say about black men, Cynthia, but you emasculate black men on your panel on a fucking daily.
Yeah, she does.
On a daily. So what are you saying about CK? Because I've been watching her for a year and I have yet to hear her disrespect black men. So this agenda, this is what I hate about some of these pro-black people, is that they push this narrative and they're really willing to push it at the detriment of the black woman's happiness. And I just don't support that.
To my safety, to my literal life. These people perpetuate lies that they know is not true. They'll say, I would just invite, show me the evidence, show them the evidence of me saying I hate black men, that I support the genocide of the black race, that I tell, there's a woman on YouTube right now who says that I tell every black woman to be with a white man and her life will be better. It's just blatant out lies. But there's this willingness to believe, and that's the issue that I have really with black women, is that there's this willingness to believe virtually anything. Like I could say, Christelyn is an alien from outer space, from the planet Xanos, come down, invited by the Illuminati to hail in the Third Reich. The Fourth Reich or whatever. And black people will believe it. And particularly black women will believe it. And black women have been instrumental in literally risking my life, putting my children out on Front Street, allowing other people to have access to information about my children. And it is so insidious and evil. But it still happens. It happens, and it happens on the watch of black women, and it happens on the regular. Like it's almost as if people are very stimulated and activated just by summoning me. Isn't it weird? Like, how can I be so powerful that just summoning my name, putting my name in your tags, putting my name in the description box or in the title, or just discussing me. If I'm so crazy, why do you keep talking about me? Why am I so important to you? This doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up.
Yep.
I think they ain't mad about him or no black man that's busting black women upside the head. All they care about, because I noticed that they spoke nothing about Jasmine Barnes once the white supremacy theory was threw out to the water with the baby.
Video that I did, I said, let's see what happens now. Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, her question to me yesterday was, why don't you tell these? Because my ex-husband was white. So I have dated interracially. So my question to not to CK, but Cynthia was, have you ever dated interracially? Because you sound like a butthurt black woman that was hurt by a white man, because you talk more about white pain than I do, sweetheart. You speak more about it than I do. I am talking about black women and their happiness. You think black women being happy and expanding their options only means white penis, when there's so many other races of men out there. Out the box is married to a Mexican man. There's men married to men from Peru. Men from Peru. It's not just white men. You are obsessed about white supremacy, and you think that's my plight. I watch you people pimp the black community. But instead, you want to make it seem like you really care about people's happiness when you don't care. And that is my issue. I don't understand why there's a pass for black men, and then there's outrage and vitriol towards black women. I don't like that.
Standard. Like, Phil is the biggest one. I mean, thank you, baby. I ordered takeout and my husband brought it on a plate to me. My white husband brought me a plate.
Yes. Hashtag glitter mermaids, but hashtag white king, honey. Hashtag white king. Hashtag white king. Do we have any white kings in the live? Hello, my white kings.
Well, I told y'all what the real story is, and this is Brooklyn. That black women are leading. They're always going to be triggered more because they see us as rejecting them through their sons, whether they have actual sons or not. Remember, we're not talking about just literally, symbolically, that the male, what the womb produces in the masculine is what matters to women in the patriarchy. Their son, you're only as good as the son you produce. And when they see other black women, not just rejecting the son, literally rejecting everything that is born out of the black womb, black people, black culture, black groupthink, black religion, black food, blackity black, blackity black, just blackness. They take it personally. They take it more personally than the son himself. This is why Cynthia G is brought to a frothing. I mean, she froths at the mouth.
Yes.
About it and how they can justify continuing to support Phil advise, but as they stay coming for this sector of the black female sector of YouTube, the swirling divestment sector, is because they have a double consciousness. They really don't. They don't hold their son to the same standard. It's a weird way of being sisters, that they're so hurt that they have a higher standard for you. And all black women do this. Y'all have a much higher standard for us than you do for the men in your lives. Much higher standard. I have seen black women get so righteously indignant with me because of something I said, or because it took me a little longer to get them a link than they thought. But I happen to know personally the stuff that they're enduring in their personal lives with the men in their lives. And it's not that I expect them to not having me standards for me because of what's going on, but don't pretend like when you come up to me with me and you're so like, have these queens, the queen's English and these high-end standards that in your own life, with the men in your life, your father, your brothers, your husband, your baby daddy, your son, that you're not getting ran through and ran over, that you're not having all kinds of boundary crossings, that you're not being disappointed and sold lies and all that. So what I think is happening is the reason why there's such a visceral response to us is because they expect us. They don't even expect loyalty from their sons, but they do expect us to be loyal to them.
Yeah.
And when we say we don't want the pain and the trauma and the dysfunction that comes with black people and Blackistan, they take it. I'm telling you, that's the way I used to feel. And this was long before I had my son. I felt personally, I felt so angry towards what we called Oreo chicks back then, Oreo women who were black on the outside but white on the inside. And I told y'all the story about this woman that I work with and how I used to feel about her. And it wasn't until last year when I wrote the post, curtain number 2, that I realized what it was. It felt like me when she said, well, they're more than black men, on this planet, and just the fact that she didn't socialize around black people, that she didn't eat black food, that she, everything, it felt like a rejection. And so I felt very angry about what I perceived as her rejection of me and my kind of being, my culture, my people, my womb. You know what I'm saying? And I took it that even though it didn't personally have anything to do with me, I took it very personally. But it wasn't just about the men and whether or not she screwed black men. It was that she was rejecting what I create as a Black woman, as a Black mother, what I represent. And so when she chose white men and chose the world of whiteness over what was going on, the struggle of Blackness, I took that as a personal rejection. She didn't want my struggle. She wanted to abandon the struggle for greener pastures, or I should say whiter pastures. And I took personal offense to that she didn't think we were worth fighting for. And that is what these women are feeling. So this is why, and they don't have the same standards for their men, which is why Phil advised can have a white Mexican wife, the second white Mexican wife, by the way. He can have that. And they will still sit on panels with him and listen to him talk about anti-swirling messages for Black women and to talk about, the stuff they talk about. And they don't expect the same loyalty and fealty from their sons as they do their sisters, even though they don't show it back to their sisters the way they do their sons.
Right. And so Phil
they don't
went from 800,000 subscribers to now over 1 million since that happened. Since it was revealed.
Yep.
So again, that just shows you.
So my YouTube channel was terminated in 3 days. Sunshine's YouTube channel, we had a video flagged down in the middle of streaming. He gets 200,000 followers.
Right.
That's how it goes in this community. Yeah. And you best believe that it's Black women at the helm of that. Because if Black women wanted to shut it down, they could.
They could.
Just like they shut us down.
Right. So we actually have to prep. We got 30 minutes before. Sorry? Did somebody say something? We got 30 minutes before. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that I'm about to send out the last round of invites for the event from my email list. So if you want to get that, I'm about to send it as soon as we end this video. If you want to get that and you want to get on, you may not be able to get, I'm going to start at 7 for my ladies, but I'll try to integrate you while we're watching the show. So because you signed up just now. So if you want to get on and start with tonight's, participating live, you need to get on my email list. So when that email blast goes out in about 5-6 minutes, you'll get it. And then you can follow the steps, submit the job form and submit payment. Put a link to your Facebook page and make sure your Facebook page settings allow friend requests so that I can send you one and add you to the group. If I don't get a job form, I'm moving on. If there's no link, I'm not searching for you. So, but you got about 5 minutes before I send out the email blast. So the email list, Chris, do you have a copy of my email list?
I can get it. I'll just.
It's the one that starts with, it's the bit.ly, not KsC Blue Pill. The bit.ly one.
No. How about you just
I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I just gotta get it. I gotta get it. So I'll post that email and y'all can close out.
Okay. All right. And I just want to give everybody, especially Juliet, who dropped some hundreds, 3 C to support us. Thank you so much. I'll make sure that Sunshine and Kendall get your
Sunshine. So Sunshine, tell them what you about to do, girl.
Oh, okay. Sunshine.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. You said tell what?
You're about your new channel.
Yes. So my channel is still up, but I'm just gonna put another. I'm gonna start another channel because that one has this way too many trolls and too many dusty canes. It got dusty and I can't clean it all up. It's just too much dust. So I can't stream on that page, not for now. I don't know when they'll allow me to live stream again. So I'm just going to upload a video to give you guys the link to my new YouTube, and then we'll just go from there. Instead of me waiting around for them to take that one out of YouTube jail. I guess I'm in YouTube jail. I don't know.
Right. And Black Women's Fair, tell people about your channel and where people can find you, etc.
Okay, so ladies, you can find me on my YouTube channel, which is Black Women's Sphere. I promote Black women expanding their options, and I promote Black wellness for Black women, and I also promote other channels of Black women, so you can find the links to the ladies that can help you out of Blackistan. Lead you out like Harriet Tubman, honey.
All right, so you guys make sure that you patronize, and we are the outliers. Everybody who is watching here and not hate watching, You are an outlier. And so, but together as a collective, we are strong. So we have to support each other. And while we don't all have the same groupthink, and we don't bully and browbeat each other to think the way we think, and call each other names, if that doesn't happen, we actually are examples of what Black sisterhood should look like. And it should not be a bond based on struggling to get the men in our community to see us. How about we see each other? How about we support each other?
See each other.
We need to see each other, okay?
Right.
Instead of begging somebody to see us, let's see each other. And with that, you guys need to join on this group. We are getting deeper into it. We're going to talk about a lot of the mentality, the mental enslavement that happens to get Black girls and women primed for abusers like R. Kelly. Of course, we're going to have the watch party, and Kendall is going to bring in the boom like she always does. So make sure that you join us. The links are in the description box, and I will see you in the group in half an hour. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.